Hello there.
Hello. Hello there. General Kenobi.
I was about to say General Kenobi. Hello there.
Hello there. Welcome
to
a pair
of kings
and
the
occasional idiot.
But not today.
Not today. We don't have a guest today, so
We do have one lined up. We actually do.
we have a guest lined
We have an
up,
occasional
yes.
idiot lined up.
An occasional.
We just
idiot.
gotta set up a time we're gonna get together and do the podcast, which I'm pretty excited for personally.
Yes.
But yeah. So
This is the first official episode because the last episode was kind of a test episode.
yeah, because we were literally just testing out the microphones while we were
because
playing.
I had just gotten them.
Yeah, we were playing Zelda Wind Waker, and and halfway through we were recording, like, hey, why don't we make this a podcast?
Why don't we test this out, make it a podcast, you know?
Yeah, but this time we're going in, setting it to be
Going in raw.
a podcast. Going in raw.
We're going in raw, hardcore.
Hardcore, man. Hard fucking core.
Hard fucking core. That should be the name of this one. Hard fucking
Hard
core.
fucking core. All right. I like
so
it.
this is the first official episode. What do you want to talk about?
Well, do you think since this is the first real episode, I'm doing air quotes here. Should we follow up on some should we or should we not follow up on some topics from the last episode?
Sure. What do you have in mind?
Well, we do have, there's the whole Matthew situation.
Oh shit. We were talking about that beforehand.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
already completely forgot. Yeah. I think each podcast we should have a Matthew update.
Yeah. For anybody who hasn't seen the last podcast, what's like a quick summary we could give of old Matthew over here?
We have this kid in our band class, right? We're not gonna say Matthew is not his real name. It's just like a fake name we're giving him. Yeah. He's quite a character. We've gotten closer to Matthew since the last podcast. I've felt like
He I don't even know what to say about him.
I don't.
He's like a
I think I
myth.
said this in the last podcast, but he's quite a character.
Yeah, he's like a myth.
He's the man, the myth, the legend, Matthew.
Matthew, and yeah, he's quite a character, and I'll just say that he
loves some Fortnite.
Yes, I don't know if we talked about that last podcast, but he loves some Fortnite.
I have something to say.
Wait, what do you got to say?
You were there, of course. But he said he's okay. I don't know if this is like. It's weird because a lot of the stuff he talks about, it sounds like it didn't actually happen.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
Knowing Matthew now, it probably did. So this kid is like obsessed with Fortnite apparently.
Yeah. One time he told me he spent over $1,000.
That's what I was about to bring up, and
yeah.
I don't know if he told you this, but he told me he stole that money from his sister.
He said he stole that money from his
sister?
sister?
He stole $1,000 from his sister and used it all on Fortnite.
He told me his sister gave him $1,000.
He told me he straight up stole it.
I think maybe
like we said, the man, the myth, the legend.
Maybe
seriously.
he trusts you more than me.
I doubt that.
Oh,
because Cutter one time he said he hated Fortnite, and didn't he say like I hate you?
Yeah, I was trying to get him mad, but I was talking trash about Fortnite. I was like, bro, I gotta be frank, I hate Fortnite. And he was like, well, I hate you. So
dude, Matthew he's a king, bro.
He's a king.
He's a fucking king. I don't know what else to say. That's all I wanted to bring up. I don't know if you have any more juicy. Oh, do you know what I'm talking
I already know.
Should we?
I think
it's so wild though.
It's like a fever dream trying to explain.
Literally,
this.
it is. Like trying to explain it to our friends, like.
And I have explained this to a number of our friends just because I feel like it's a really good story. It's kind of hard to explain though.
It's extremely hard to explain.
I'll try and explain it real quick here. The other day, my friend and I we'll call my friend Mac. I was with at the back of the band room. Me and I'm laughing at the name I gave him. Well, me and Mac.
That's like pretty close to his actual name.
Should I call him something else?
His name's Jack. I mean, I don't think he'd mind us.
We'll just call him Jack then. I think he'll be fine.
We'll call him Jack.
All right, so me and
That
Jack.
is definitely not his actual name.
Yeah. So me and Jack were at the back of the band room. We were hanging out. We were talking, and we were talking about Matthew. And I was kind of looked at Jack, and I was like, you think You think his parents have had to talk with him? I don't know why that question got into my head, but it did.
Okay, you haven't told me about this actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Okay,
this
so
is new to me too. Is this how this came up?
yeah,
Okay, I actually didn't know how.
yeah.
It
I
came
looked
up.
at Jack and I was like, "You think his parents have had to talk with him?" And he looked at him. He looked back at me and he was like, "No, I don't. I really don't think so." So then yeah, Matthew came back there, of course, and Jack looked at him. And he was like, "Do you know where babies come from?" And then
Quite a weird question to ask a high schooler.
yeah, Jack asked him,
Where do babies come from, by the way?
you're gonna get Matthew's answer.
Here's Matthew's answer.
So Jack asked him, and he was like, if he knew where they came from, and he was like, yeah. And then I think I said, it was either me or Jack, but I think I said, how do you know? And he said, watch porn.
I mean, he watches. He knows where babies come from. He
Yeah.
watches, oh shit.
Yeah, and then after that, he was like, there's two.
It's so dumb. It's so weird, dude.
And then he was like, there's two styles, doggy style and the whipping nay nay.
It'd be different if he was like ironically saying this shit, but he means this shit when he says it.
And he has like emotion when he talks about this
Yeah,
stuff.
like it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I really can't tell if he's like messing with us or not. It's really
I don't
hard
think
to
he's
tell.
messing.
I don't think so.
So yeah. Apparently, there's two styles to have babies. There's the what was
Doggy
it?
style?
The doggy style, of course, and then the whip and nay.
And the rest of that class period and the next day, the entire time we tried, me, Trey, and Jack asked him questions, tried to figure out
what a whip and nay was.
Yeah, and then tell him the answer that
What was that referring to?
Tell them the answer that you got.
So basically, he was like he was scared to say it. I don't know why. And he was doing this thing, like where he was trying to spell it out for me, like because he didn't want to directly say it. And what he spelled out was beat my meat. So I was like, I looked at him. I was like, so whipping nay, you mean jacking off? He's like, no. And I was like, but you said beat my meat. That means jacking off, right? He was like, no.
Yeah, and I went to him later,
and that made me even more confused.
Because you said something about that. I went to him and I was like, wait, so the whipping nay is jacking off? And he was like, no.
Yeah, like I was like, but you just spelled out beat your meat. He was like, yeah. And I was like, so jacking off? No.
I feel like every time. I feel like every time he tried to explain it, he explained it differently.
Yeah.
Like there was one thing where he was talking about something how like the guy's anus going into the girl. He tried to explain it like that.
Oh, and it was funny because after he told us what the whip and nay meant, he was like, don't tell the girls, man. Don't tell the girls.
He was like, don't tell the girls. And there was like a group of girls for the front of the class, and I was walking over.
Me and Cutter both were like, girls.
Like we were walking over.
And he was like chasing after. He's like, no, stop, dude, stop.
Like he's
I'm
embarrassed.
Like he's embarrassed. Like what?
Yeah,
it was so cool.
Oh my
crazy.
Oh my god, I don't think I told you about this.
Oh, please enlighten me.
He said something. He said
again. This whole podcast is just gonna be us talking shit about him.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to him, and I don't remember exactly how the conversation started, but he said something about him having bitches, and I was like, wait, what? And I was like, you got Fortnite bitches? And he was like, yeah. And then
what does that even mean?
And then I was like, how many? And he said, I got two. He said something like, I got two on deck.
Two on deck?
He got two on.
Dude, that's so funny.
He's got two. I was like, you got two Fortnite bitches on deck? And he was like, yeah.
Dude, I got two Fortnite bitches on deck, dude. I got two Fortnite bitches on deck.
He said something like that.
That's fun to say.
I got two Fortnite bitches on deck.
And later, I'm gonna have them on my dick. So for the people listening, that's what a whipping nay is.
That's what a whipping nay.
That's what a whipping nay is.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably enough Matthew talk. For
yeah, that's enough Matthew talk. We've had 14 minutes of Matthew talk.
Yeah.
So
we'll move on. Well, before we came here to do this podcast, we were at one of our friends' birthday parties.
Yeah.
And that was pretty fun. I actually I was with a couple of my other friends, and when I walked in there it was kind of funny because there was just like a seat like in between all of you, between you and Alex. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's probably my seat.
Yeah. And Alex came in and he was like, he pulled the chair out beside me and then he sat in the chair next to that chair. And I was just joking with him. I was like, oh, I see how it is. And he was like, no, that's Cutter's seat. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm glad my bro's looking out for me.
Yeah, bro. The 3 bros.
No, I will say, because we've had this conversation before. The restaurant we went to, it's a Mexican restaurant, and in the town we live in, everybody calls it the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, it's called Fiesta Tapatía.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a local thing here or it's like all over the U.S.
It's in the next town over, so
Is it like a?
It's in Bennettsville.
So it's in like the U.S. It's not like a local sure-all thing.
It might be local. I don't, because there's only 2 I know of.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I
mean,
mean,
yeah, I know the one in Bennettsville you're talking about. Yeah,
I don't really like that one. If I'm being honest. Just the look of it, but
yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't like how it looks.
Yeah, it's called Fiesta Tapatía.
Yeah,
I don't know where you were going with that. I'm
well,
sorry.
I was gonna get to, and I will say, me personally, I love the restaurant. I've been going there my whole life with my parents and whatnot, and the food I get there is really good every time. Even like the non-Mexican food, like the shrimp they have there. I'm kind of a shrimp connoisseur, you could say, and their shrimp is really good. You wouldn't think it would be, but it's really good.
Well, their burgers are good.
Yeah, that's what you had.
It's a Mexican restaurant, and I'm the weirdo because I always get burgers because I don't like Mexican food.
See, I used to get stuff like that there, but now I get an ACP. The ACP is
that
really,
did look good. Did look good. It's basically chicken and rice with cheese.
Yeah, and it's really good.
Yeah, that looked really good.
Another one of our friends, Luke, got it with steak instead of like chicken.
That's the guest, by the way. That's gonna come on soon. It's Luke. Luke Duke. Luke Duke. Luke Duke the poop.
Yeah, but anyway, we love I love the restaurant. I know you like my Pizza Tapatía.
No, I don't.
Okay, you used to like it.
I never liked it.
You never liked it?
No.
Okay.
Well, okay, it's for like a Mexican place, it's fine. It's great.
In a small town.
But I personally don't like Mexican food that much.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's just a personal thing, and I've never really liked Mexican food. So when I go there, I'm the weirdo in the group. I always get like a burger.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I will say that the only reason why I have like Mexican food now is that's only something that happened within the last year. Because I was with one of my friends, and she made me get what she was having. It was an ACP, and I loved it. So now I just get that.
Yeah, that did look really good though.
You should try that next time.
Yeah.
Next time you're there, because I'm sure we'll be there again.
Yeah, before I found out that they had like burgers and stuff, because I thought it was just Mexican food. I would always get like a taco. And it would just be like plain with meat and cheese, and everybody would be like, "What the fuck are you doing with your life?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't like Mexican food. I don't know."
See, I'm not like big on Mexican food either, but I love like the queso dip and chips. And
oh, that cheese though.
That's really good.
That cheese dip,
that's really good.
It's called queso dip.
Cheese dip, whatever.
Yeah, dude, that shit is bomb. I'm not even
really,
gonna lie.
really
that shit is bomb. When they bring the chips out, the plain chips, and you dip it in that chip.
Woo! That's probably the best part of the restaurant.
That is.
I
like,
think that's the best
literally
part of the
that
restaurant.
shit is bomb. Dude.
But the reason I wanted to preface this with the fact that I think it's a really good restaurant, because especially for in a small town like this, and I have always loved the place. We always go there for like events.
That's kind of another reason why I kind of got tired of it, because like every single time one of our friends has a birthday party, it's at Fiesta Tapatía.
Yeah, and like the thing is, I love this place, but god damn, we're there all the time.
Yeah, like every single event, like we're there. Like prom, we go to Fiesta Tapatía.
Yeah, and I will say
anybody's birthday, we go to Fiesta Tapatía. And like I don't have a problem with that. It's just, or I wouldn't. It's just I don't prefer Mexican food. So
Yeah.
for me personally, it's like whenever they say, "Oh, we're going to Fiesta Tapatía," it's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
But at this point, it's kind of a tradition that we go there now, which is I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and I'm fine with it. But I will say this last the last winter formal we had, we went to a restaurant. It's called The Bank, and it's in the next town over. We had never been there. I'd never been there before.
I've been there. I've been there before.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I had never been there, and it was really nice. It was I would say it was a lovely change of scenery for once.
Yeah, dude, The Bank is fucking bomb. I'm just gonna keep saying that. Fucking bomb. I wanna fuck The Bank. It's a restaurant called The Bank, and it's in the small town of Chesterfield, South Carolina, in Chesterfield County. Shout out to The Bank, I guess.
Yeah.
It is fucking great. I had a. What, did you have a steak?
I don't even remember what I had, from being honest.
I had a steak, a ribeye, and their steaks are. Oh my god! I didn't have to season it or anything. It was so fucking good.
Yeah, it
Oh
was.
my god! And one of the side options is curly fries.
Yeah,
So
well,
me and Cutter got a bunch of fucking curly fries
And
with
what-
our steaks.
And what was funny, because I think then our steaks come with like 2 sides, and we had like I think both of us got 2 sides of curly fries, and we just decided to put all of our curly fries together to make one massive fucking pile of curly fries
in like the middle of the table.
Yeah, it was
great.
It was like a mountain of curly fries
It
in the
was-
middle of
it
the
was
table.
Awesome. I thought it was funny because like it. No, I think I got a baked potato with my steak. With also.
I think I got 2 sides of curly
Yeah, I
fries.
think you
then.
did. And it was just funny to me how it's like I saw steak as like this elegant meal, and then you have fucking curly fries on the side. It's
Yeah,
like
that
that's funny.
that was pretty funny.
Yeah, but the bank is a great restaurant. If any of you viewers, listeners are ever in Chesterfield County, South Carolina, you should stop by the bank.
Give it an old try. You know?
Give it a little try.
Give it a try.
Give it a little try. Turns out this podcast is sponsored by the bank.
I wish.
Yeah, I wish. If any corporate heads are listening to this, looking for a podcast to sponsor, hit us up.
Hit us up.
Audible. Hit us up.
Audible stands for.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
Audible. Did you there was that one where he was like, Audible stands for and he
Yeah,
just started
yeah.
screaming. That was so funny.
We're talking about Jack's Films,
Yeah,
by the way.
Jack's
if you know
Films.
who that is, that's he probably is my favorite YouTuber just of all time.
Really?
Probably, I think so. If I was forced to pick a favorite YouTuber, I would have to pick Jack's Films. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, his stuff has been very consistent. In like,
It has.
of course he's evolved over time, but
Yeah.
like his the way he does shit is very consistent, and like it, it's not. He hasn't changed his personality. I guess that's what he.
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
I said.
he-
He's had a really consistent personality. He's coming to South Carolina, or no, North Carolina.
I saw it come in North Carolina.
Yeah, in
Like,
March.
Durham. Is that-
Yeah, I think Durham.
Okay, yeah.
That'd be cool to go to.
I would love
Yeah.
that. I would love. To
Oh,
go.
that's something we could talk about. That like whenever a band that we like is touring, we live in bumfuck South Carolina. So
you might as well call it Bumfuck, South Carolina.
Just call it bumfuck. We live in bumfuck, and like no artist comes to South Carolina.
Yeah.
if they're big or like they don't normally come to South
You know,
Carolina.
I don't know if you've heard this, but I've heard like other people. I've seen some videos on YouTube and stuff of people talking about like it'll be like a game or something they play about like the United States and states in the U.S. And a lot of people refer to South Carolina as the forgotten state.
That's yeah,
It's very accurate. I feel.
very accurate. It's just there's nothing here.
I know.
like
I will say what's interesting though to me is that I'm assuming it's the same from when I looked it up last, but Myrtle Beach in South Carolina is the second fastest growing city in the U.S.
Well, yeah, Myrtle Beach is very popular. I know that.
Myrtle
like,
Beach is that's like if there's one defining thing South Carolina has, it's Myrtle
It's
Beach.
Myrtle Beach,
Myrtle Beach.
yeah. Yeah, or recently, or like last year, it was called Crime Beach or something, because like
Oh, really?
a bunch of fucking crime went down.
Oh, okay. I think I
Or
remember
like
that.
it was.
There was something.
I don't know if it's still like that, but
I haven't heard anything recently, but I wasn't.
or no, people called it Murder Beach.
That's what it was.
Murder
There was
Beach.
some. Wasn't there like a shooting in a movie theater?
Yes,
Yeah.
there was. Yeah,
I hope
So-
that gets better because I'm
I'm pretty sure it's better now. I haven't heard anything, but I just heard about that one incident, and people were like, "Oh, it's Murder Beach."
yeah, because I'm actually.
Murder Beach.
I hope it gets better because I'm actually gonna be moving there within
You are moving to
the,
Myrtle
the
Beach.
next year, less
You
than
are
a year,
moving to Myrtle
several
Beach.
months. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Lucky you. If I were to have a house, I would love to live at the beach or the mountains.
mhm.
Either one of those.
Yeah.
I mean,
Both of them.
Yeah.
I think both of them are beautiful. Honestly.
oh, definitely, yeah. I love the beach though. I really love the beach. I'm afraid of the water, but I love the beach.
You have to look at it.
Huh?
You love to look at it.
I like to look at it.
yeah,
Dude, the best fucking thing is when like you stay at a hotel at the beach and you go to sleep, or no, like you're laying down to go to sleep and like you leave the window open and you hear the waves crashing.
I will say I've never had that experience.
Are you
'cause
fucking serious? Dude?
well, I don't think I've ever stayed at a hotel in Myrtle Beach because as long as my parents and I have been going there, when I was little, we had a camper we would take down there, and then after that we got a condo, and we still had that condo, and we've just been staying there whenever we go.
Oh, dude.
So and neither of them are like right up on the ocean.
Dude, get a
So-
hotel right up on the ocean, and like every time my family would go to the beach, every time we would go to sleep, we would always leave the door open to hear the waves crashing.
That's
It's
awesome.
it's such a relaxing sound, and I love it. Like,
I will say, well, you know how like now on your phones you can get like this sleep machine thing, like apps on your phone.
yeah.
Well, do you remember those like machines that you would put on your floor that would make sounds like wind or rain or ocean waves?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
In my parents' bedroom at our condo, they had one of those things on the floor, and it had made ocean wave sounds, and that's my favorite sound any machine or app has ever made. That sound from that one old.
And imagine the real
Eldest thing.
thing.
I know, yeah. I would love to experience that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I had a question pop to my
To your old noggin.
my old noggin here.
Your old noggin.
What's
Sorry.
what is the best trip you've ever been on, like vacation or whatever? Or if you have one.
The best vacation I've ever been on.
Either, with your family or friends or just whoever.
Damn. I've had a lot. I've had a lot of good ones.
No, Mr. Worldwide over here.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide. Christina Aguilera. I don't know. That's a hard question.
I can go, if you want to think about it. I can.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Okay, I'll let you think about it, because I have an answer for mine. And the only reason why I thought of that question is because I said Myrtle Beach is the second largest growing city in the U.S.
Mhm.
The first is Las Vegas, and that's my
Oh.
best trip I've ever
Yeah.
been on.
Yeah.
Was Las Vegas. I went there in June of 2018, I think it was, with my parents, and it was really great trip.
Yeah.
And there was like this one, and at the time, I guess I was 16 at the time when we went. And even now I still can't. But of course I couldn't I drink or gamble or any of that fun stuff. I hope I can.
That fun stuff.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I can go back sometime after I'm 21.
Yeah.
It's maybe me and a couple of friends or whatever. And that'd be a lot
I'll
of
come
fun.
down with you.
Dude,
We'll
literally-
gamble our money away.
I don't think I've told you this, but while we were there, I had this one thought where I was like, it'd be cool if Trey was here. Like, I literally thought that when we were
touches my dick,
when-
man.
when we were in Vegas. I had that thought at one time, and I was like, yeah. But
Dude, I would go crazy. I would fucking lose all my money.
I-
Like not
Yeah.
intentionally, of course, but like I feel like I would be the one to get addicted to gambling.
Yeah, and if any of you out there know Las Vegas, you know that there's the Las Vegas Strip, and then there's like downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And first off, we live in South Carolina, and
Sadly.
and it was so dramatic, just a dramatic difference going from here to Nevada, Las Vegas.
I bet so.
Because the first thing, we got out of the airport. The first thing I want to mention is the air. It's so dry, and
Yeah.
it's something.
I've heard that.
It's something I can't explain if you haven't been there. And I could never understood it when people explained it to me.
It probably doesn't make sense for people listening who don't live in South Carolina, because in South Carolina it's fucking humid.
Yeah,
like, all the
it's
fucking
humid
time.
as shit in South Carolina
all the time. It's humid.
And whenever I came back to South Carolina after being in Las Vegas, I feel like my brain level is 5 levels above everybody else, because I came back and I was like, I can feel the wetness in the air.
Oh, dude.
Because I could
Yeah.
feel it because it's so damn
I've lived here my
dry.
whole life. I don't know what it feels like for it to not be humid.
You should go over there sometime at some
Yeah.
point in your life. It's
This-
really
I-
interesting.
I was going to mention this. This might sound sad, but I've only been to 3 states, which is South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. And I've only been to Virginia recently, like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Is that a year ago or 2
Yeah,
years
like
ago?
around a year ago.
Or a year ago? So
Yeah.
before that, I've only been to North and South Carolina.
You've never been to Florida?
I've never been to Florida.
Okay.
And I have
Oh,
family
I
in Florida. I have family in Florida and Virginia. And I've been to Virginia at that party, but like,
yeah,
or not party, that's vacation we went on or whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, and I've only been to those 3 states. And I so want to get like an RV and just travel to every state.
That'd be fucking
Like
awesome.
I would love to do that. That was, and The big one I want to go to is New York. And I know a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people say like New York is like, it's kind of a dirty city.
I've always wanted to go to New York too, by the way.
Yeah, but like
Always wanted to
it's
go.
like it's one of those cities like you have to go to at least once in your life. I feel like. Plus me being a small boy here in South Carolina, dude. The first time I ever went to North Carolina, because North Carolina is like
you could drive like 30, 45 minutes being in North Carolina.
yeah, where we live in South Carolina,
Yeah.
and like the difference between North and South Carolina is kind of crazy. Like what city wise?
Oh yeah.
Like North Carolina has like Charlotte, Raleigh, all those cities.
Yeah.
And the first time I think I went, it was like a concert I went to. It was my first concert.
Yeah.
And we went to North Carolina. I think it was in Raleigh. And I've grown up in this small town Sherrall in South Carolina, and then I go to Raleigh, which is a huge fucking city to me, and I was like, holy shit, what the fuck?
Your mind was kind of blown, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So
Yeah.
If I ever go to New York, I feel like I'm gonna just shit myself because
Probably.
New York is huge. It's fucking massive.
And one thing that I thought was funny, well, I have one of my best friends in the world, Eric. Shout out to you, Eric, if you're listening.
Eric, my boy,
boy,
or
Eric.
Cutter's boy. I think it's so funny that like we haven't really hung out, me and Eric, or like we don't know each other that well.
Yeah.
But when I worked at Leo's, he had his restaurant was beside Leo's.
Yeah. Eric and his parents have a restaurant.
Yeah,
downtown.
and his restaurant was beside Leo's. I hope he actually is listening to this because this is funny.
I'll tell him to listen to it.
Yeah, and like he walked out one day, I guess, because he lives close by.
He lives close by. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was walking out of the restaurant to go to his house, I guess. And I looked down, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, Eric?" And he just kind of like waved at like, I don't know, and I felt bad. I was like, "Oh, okay." Was it something I said or something?
The thing with him, he is kind of shy, but he's genuinely one of the best people. Genuinely one of the best people I've ever met in my entire life.
And then it was funny because he kept walking, and I thought at first he was like taking the trash or something. I didn't know he lived so close.
Yeah.
But he kept walking down the street, and I realized he didn't have a trash bag, and I was like, "Wait, where the fuck is he going?" And then eventually he went like down another road, and I couldn't see him anymore, and then he didn't come back, and I was like, where the fuck did he go? It was so funny to me. And then I found out through you that he lived like really close by. I was like, oh, okay.
That makes sense now.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah, but he goes to New York quite often actually because he has family down there, and he actually went to school in New York for a year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was when we were freshmen. He was in New York for that year.
Oh, okay.
So he's been to New York like a good bit in his life, and there was one time where we got like the littlest bit of snow here. We don't get snow much where we are either.
No.
And we got
Oh, I think you told me about this.
Yeah, we had a little bit of snow, like a very little bit. And I sent Eric a picture, and I was like, "Bro, we got snow." And he sent me a picture back, and it was a picture he took from his window, and it was literally a foot of snow. And his caption was, "I fucking hate snow." And there was like a table in their front yard area, and there was a foot of snow on top of the table.
Yeah, because I think New York gets snow a lot.
They do, yeah.
Like I was
I
on
understand.
when the jazz band went on the cruise to perform on the cruise. I was messaging a friend in New York. Oh no, I posted on my story, and my friend, there's a friend from New York, messaged me and was like, "Oh, I'm jealous," and I was like, I was joking. I was like, "Oh, we can tell the captain to come get you or whatever." And then she said, "It's actually snowing here," and that blew my mind because I was on a cruise ship and it was hot. It was like it was 70-something degrees or 80-something degrees, and she was like, "Oh, it's snowing here," and I'm like,
"Yeah,
how?"
I know it's really because most people that is hard to
because like you said earlier, it doesn't snow in South Carolina. Like barely at all.
It barely ever snows here.
No.
We had one really good snow in about I think it was January 2018. We had some good snow then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there was I don't know why I said there was. That's not why I'm going with the conversation. You dropped some water on you.
That wasn't even like that was just a glob of water that just fell on my shirt. Right
You got
here.
some water on his shirt.
I dropped some water. That was like slow motion too.
It kind of
so
was.
funny.
But yeah,
Man,
for
I'm wet now. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
but
Hey, Cutter.
yeah.
No, I'm joking. Keep going. I'm sorry.
But for most people, me including, of course, it's hard to really grasp, because everybody kind of lives in their own world, and it's whenever you see something on the news or on the internet or whatever about how somewhere in another part of the world it's like completely opposite weather than where you
Yeah.
are. Like it's like let's just say snowing because it never snows here,
Yeah.
and it'll be like hot where we are.
Yeah.
It's like damn,
Plus, we've always lived here, so it's kind of like
yeah.
it's kind of wild to see that.
Me and Trey we've lived in this town our entire lives.
Yeah.
We've always lived in
Yeah.
this little town.
Sadly,
But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is weather's crazy, huh?
Bro, that weather be jank, bro. I don't even know what that means. I just
Be
made that word
jank.
up. Dude, that weather be jank, bro. Dude, I got 2 Fortnite bitches on the side, bro. On deck. No, sorry, I got 2 Fortnite bitches on deck,
Two
bro.
Fortnite bitches on deck.
I will say,
Mm.
speaking of Fortnite,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like Fortnite.
And-
Fork knife.
Yeah. And
Um,
I will say I told Matthew that I hate Fortnite, and I was trying to get him upset but that was a genuine comment from me.
yeah. Well,
I kind of hate.
I don't
Fortnite.
hate it. It's like it's.
That's an exaggerated comment. Let me say that. I won't say I hate the game, but I dislike it.
I think it's very overhyped
I think
like,
so, I think so
to
too.
the point to where I think it's more of the fan base of Fortnite.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really like Fortnite.
But
But
the game is just so frustrating to me.
really, like just the game in general.
Like when I try to play it, and I know anybody who plays it is like you gotta get good at the game, but
That's such a dumb. That's such a dumb.
I know
statement.
you gotta get good at the game.
You
but
gotta get good at the game before you play it. It's like no.
It's like I think in total I've probably played Fortnite for like 4 or 5 hours at all the time I've played with Fortnite, and I've had fun maybe like once or twice playing it.
Yeah.
That was it.
But yeah, and now if you haven't played Fortnite now and you start to play it, like it's an online game.
Everybody's
and, like,
so
everyone is so fucking good at it now
Yeah.
because they played it for so long, and it's like you really can't have fun because like you keep dying all the time.
Yeah.
But I wanted to mention Fortnite because I haven't played Fortnite for like well
I already know where you're going with this.
for like a year and a half maybe. I don't know how long it's been out, but it feels like over a year and a half. And I played it here on Alex's Switch actually.
Yeah.
Just playing it just because y'all were playing Smash.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was like, I'll play around with Fortnite. I haven't played it in so
Because
long.
Alex was playing Fortnite on his Switch, and I think you and him switched controllers.
Yeah, we switched.
Yeah.
And switch. But and I came in second. First time I played in a year and a half, and I came in second.
Yeah, that's commendable. I think that's pretty good.
You know, and I would have won except this dude had a fucking rocket launcher and he just blew my ass up. But it's a fun game, but like, it's not a game I would play over and over and over and over again. I can see why people play it so much.
I can see the appeal of it.
I can see the appeal, but
I really
to
do.
me personally, it's not a game I would come back to that much. And to see all these people like go crazy over it, it's like.
And one thing I've always liked about the game is I genuinely I like the art style of the game.
That is like a major plus of it. The art style is really cool.
Because when the game came out in 2017, and I think I think it was 2017. I think I might be wrong about that. I'm not sure. But it was around that time where
I'm gonna look it up actually.
okay, you can fact check me. But the generation before, like the PS3 360 generation, if the game had a gun in it, it was like the graphics were super realistic. Like every game that had a gun in it was basically realistic.
Yeah.
It seemed like that at least because that's all that was popular.
Yeah, 2017, July 21st, 2017.
Oh, yeah, I was right. I'm surprised. But I will say it's nice to see a shooter get so popular that has a non-realistic art style,
It's like a unique
art style. Because to me, it's if a shooter has like a realistic art style, they kind of all look the same to me.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I have a lot of good memories with Call of Duty though, with my
See,
cousin Hunter.
Yeah, I've
'Cause when we were younger, we would play Call of Duty a lot, and like we would play Call of Duty Zombies, and I have a lot of good memories with Call of Duty. Not so much Fortnite, but
comparing the two.
because my cousin Hunter, I love him to death. He's like a brother to me. But no, I'm joking. There was a point where he would come over to our house like almost every day. This was before we had a car or license. He would come over to our house every day and then get picked up by his mom or something. And he would always play the PlayStation in the living room. And he would always play either Call of Duty or whatever. Then Fortnite got popular. And he played Fortnite nonstop. And then there was a lot of the time he would spend the night over the weekend, like every single weekend he would spend the night.
Yeah.
And every time I'd walk in there and he'd be playing Fortnite. So that's kind of another reason why I don't necessarily like Fortnite, is because I always saw him play it.
Yeah, and what was funny for me is I go to Trey's house quite often. I always have.
Yeah.
I would say
Okay.
yeah, and how his house is set up. Whenever they have like a glass, like a full glass door.
Yeah.
And most of the time they leave the other like solid door open, so you
Yeah.
can see in their living room.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time when Fortnite was big and Hunter was playing Fortnite,
Yeah.
they didn't have a TV in their living room, but they had a projector and they just projected everything onto the wall.
Yeah,
And
it was pretty big screen. It was big. Like,
ginormous.
Yeah.
It was a giant projection of whatever you wanted. And every time I would come over, you could, even before I got out of my car, I could be riding up to your house and look through the door and see Fortnite.
He would play Fortnite on the projector.
It was a giant projection of Fortnite on the wall.
It would always amaze me too how good he was at that game.
I know.
Like I guess I'm not a true gamer, but it's honestly really funny because I could never win a game of Fortnite. I would try, and I still haven't. I still never have won a game of Fortnite.
Yeah, I haven't.
And
either.
I've tried and tried when it was popular, and I never got it. And it was always funny to him how I never won.
Yeah.
It was funny to me because like I'm not that good at games most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I did win a squad, which was like 4 people in on a team.
Yeah.
With him and 2 of his other friends. That wasn't really me though, because I was in a group
team.
with other people. And so I've never won a game of Fortnite, which I just find that funny.
I will say there was one time, this is probably the only memory I can really think of playing the game. I did a 50v50, I think, and it was like
that's more fun.
I will say that I think I played that more than anything else when I played it for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
But there was a how there's like the counter on the top right or whatever, and it has the number of the people on the blue team, which is you, I'm assuming. Red team is the bad guys.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the game, our numbers started to dwindle, and their numbers stayed about the same. And I found like a bush costume to hide in. I hid in a bush in the bush costume, and I just watched that counter go down and down and down. It was like 2. And then went to 1, and I was the only one left. And I was hiding in a bush, in a bush costume, in a bush. And then I stayed there for so long. And what was funny, they had built this giant tower thing, and all of them were going all around looking for the last person, which was me. They were all going around looking for me. And,
That's so funny.
And the storm started to close in, and I was outside, so I got to move. So I started moving like towards their fort because they had built it where it was going to close in, and they got me so fast after I started moving. And they came really close to finding me, but they didn't find me until I started moving.
Yeah.
That's like my best memory with Fortnite. That's probably like the only like good one I can think of, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
That was fun, I have to say, just because it was funny to me.
Yeah. But yeah, Fortnite sucks. Fortnite is dumb.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because we don't like it. Therefore,
I was gonna say that before Fortnite came out or was I don't know which came out first, but before Fortnite got popular, PUBG was popular.
Yeah,
which is basically the exact same game but with better graphics, like more realistic graphics, and it's mostly played on the PC. And I actually did play it before Fortnite became popular, and it was fun. It was new. It was a new idea at the time, because at the time it was like, it's a free for all, and whoever's the last person alive wins.
Yeah,
like that idea is interesting idea. And I liked PUBG. I got it on my computer and I played it and I really liked it. And then Hunter was at my house one day and he was playing Fortnite and I was
Yeah.
like, "What's this game?" And he told me what it was and how do you play it? And I was like, "Okay, so it's PUBG." And he was like, "What's PUBG?" I was like, "What? You don't know what PUBG is?"
Yeah, and one thing I will say, if you remember, which I don't really know exactly how valid they are, but it's worth something, I guess. In 2017, I think it was just like the demo, not like demo, but like what was it called? It wasn't the full game of PUBG was not out in 2017. It was like a trial run or
Oh,
something.
really?
I don't remember how they worded it, but it was like I don't know what you call it. It wasn't the full game at the time, but PUBG got nominated for Game of the Year in 2017. It was a nominee, and it wasn't even the full game, and that pissed a lot of people off. I didn't really like it because I just didn't like the idea that the chance that game had a chance to get Game of the Year over Breath of the Wild, which came out that year,
Yeah.
which that game did end up getting Game of the Year that year, which I think it deserved it. I really do. I love that game to death, but yeah.
That reminds me of my dad. He he loves Pulp Fiction, right? We both love Pulp
Yeah.
Fiction, and he every now and then he'll talk about how the year Pulp Fiction was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars,
Mhm.
so was Forrest Gump, and Forrest Gump won Best Picture, and he hates Forrest Gump for that reason alone.
Just about reason.
And it's funny to me whenever he brings it up because I was like, Forrest Gump isn't that bad of a movie. He was like, yeah, it sucks, and it's only because it beat Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I actually do think Pulp Fiction should have won over Forrest Gump.
I think
Personally,
I think so too. Now, having said that, I have not watched Forrest Gump since the first time I watched it, like several years ago.
yeah.
And what's funny, I have it on Blu-ray, but I haven't watched it on Blu-ray.
You do have it on Blu-ray, actually?
I do. It's somewhere up there, but
Oh.
I have not watched it on Blu-ray since I got
Yeah.
it.
Well, Forrest Gump, it's a really good movie, but I don't know, compared to Pulp Fiction,
Just from what I remember, I like.
That's a hard choice, honestly,
I like
'cause-
Pulp Fiction better. From what I remember.
yeah. Well, Sonic. We saw Sonic.
Oh yeah.
We saw Sonic.
God. And
Segways are weird.
yeah, and you know
That's
what?
what
I will. I'll tell our small audience, I guess, that
Small.
Trey and I took a trip to the beach last weekend, and we tried to record a podcast there,
Yeah.
and a computer crashed 3 times.
Like, we started recording, crashed, and then we started recording again, crashed. Or the program that we used to record it crashed.
And by the 3rd time we started again, nothing was natural anymore. It just
like,
felt,
we were so upset and like just done with it. Like,
It just-
or I was like, I was getting mad.
See, I just
so-
kind of wasn't saying anything, but it didn't feel natural anymore. And
Yeah,
that was my
because we
biggest
kept
thing.
saying the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Because it would get like 15 minutes into the podcast and then crash.
And like that's you can do a lot in 15 minutes. So
Yeah. We had that whole Matthew conversation in 15 minutes.
I know, yeah, and and it was just so frustrating. We just decided we'll try it again, later. And this is us trying it again.
This is us actually trying it again, and it hasn't crashed. We were using your mom's Mac though.
yeah, because that's all we had there.
And then afterwards, your mom was like, "Yeah, it doesn't have any free space on it." And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
well,
oh,
yeah,
you're-
that's why.
That's why, yeah.
That's why."
Yeah, but one of the things we tried to talk about 3 separate times, was our experience seeing the Sonic movie.
Yeah, we saw Sonic the Hedgehog with our friend Andy.
But not only did we see the movie.
Yeah, we saw the movie in 4DX.
Are you horny yet?
We saw the movie in
4DX.
4D. D.
Okay, if you had to so let's because I don't think everybody knows what 40X
Explain
is.
to the people in the back who don't know what 4DX is. Explain to the people who
For you uncultured people that don't know what 40X is.
uncultured swine.
a lot of people I think do know what 40 is, and 40X is basically the same thing.
It's just more extreme, I guess.
I guess it's more extreme. That's why the X for extreme. Maybe that's why, like from the 90s.
4-dimensional extreme.
Extreme. Yeah. But yeah, it's like the seats move like a fucking roller coaster. And they shoot water in your face, and there's loud ass fans that blow on you, like very louder than
it's
volume.
like 3D. It's like the picture pops out at you. 4D, it's like you're there, kind of like whenever. Well, that's
what they're going for.
Yeah, in the case of Sonic. Whenever Sonic would move or the camera would move with Sonic, the seats would move with the camera. And at times, because Sonic runs really fucking fast and there's a lot of action going on, at times the seats would literally like fucking like jolt around, and it would kind of be a little disorienting.
You almost get whiplash from
it.
like
Seriously. And then at times it would be like that. It would be like a nice shot of a nice scenery shot or whatever, and the seats would just slowly move up, and it was so funny because I would look over at Cutter and Andy, and their heads would like be slowly moving towards the screen. And then it would go to like an action scene. It was like,
and there was this one part that was honestly, I don't know why, but it was like. There was this part where Eggman's drone was flying around, and the camera was like a POV from the drone, and the seats were like slowly moving around like ocean waves.
Yeah, like ocean waves.
And I looked around the audience, and the funniest thing was looking at everybody just like
the funniest thing about watching that whole experience was looking at the audience and how their chairs were moving and shit.
Yeah.
And like you said, there was a scene where there was like water splashing, and they actually like sprinkled water on us.
Yeah.
Well, not the employees. They had a water thing that would spurt. The employees came out of the booth up top and threw a bucket
of water on everybody.
Yeah. And then it was funny because you and Andy were talking about like watching Finding Nemo in 4D, and they would just slowly start filling the whole auditorium with water, and eventually it just be like filled with
for the 40X Finding Nemo experience, they fill the theater with water slowly, and it rises to the top, so the entire theater is filled with water, and everybody drowns.
Yeah, everybody just drowns
because it's for the 40X experience.
Yeah, and also with the 40X experience, like you said, they had these loud ass fans, because like whenever Sonic would run, it would be like the wind. They wanted to simulate the wind hitting your hair.
Another thing about that is before the movie even started, I looked at Andy and I was like, I think, is it just me or is the volume of like the like, this is like during the trailer and stuff, is the volume of the trailers and everything louder than normal? And he was like, yeah, I think they are. And I think it's louder than a regular theater to compensate for the loud ass fans. But even with that,
it didn't help.
It didn't do shit, because when the fans were on, I still couldn't hear the movie.
Like whenever Sonic would be running and they wanted to simulate wind, the fans would come, and it's funny because they would even make that sound where they come like like I heard that several times, and that was so funny. And when they would go the fans were on full speed, I could not hear the movie at all, and it was so funny.
I think there was this point where the seats were shaking, the fans were on, and they were flashing those lights.
It was. Yeah, they have strobe lights in there.
Yeah, there's strobe lights. It was like the seats were like shaking, and the fucking fans were on, and the strobe lights were on, and it was like so much, and I couldn't believe it. Like my jaw was on the floor basically for most of that experience, because it was
literally
absolutely insane. If you have the chance to see Sonic the Hedgehog or really any movie in 40X,
I think
highly recommended.
If it'd be any movie, it'd be Sonic. Like, please.
This is the movie before it goes out of theaters.
Well, by the time this podcast comes out, I'm pretty sure Sonic is already out of theaters. Yeah, is it still in theaters now?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh well, it might be.
I'm sure
it might be still in theaters when this comes out. I don't know.
It is doing pretty well. So
it is doing really well. And,
and
the movie itself was not terrible.
It wasn't terrible. It
wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Now, there were some
for a video game movie.
That's the thing.
Better than
for a Sonic movie.
Most others, if not all others.
There were some cringy moments.
Like Sonic flossed twice.
Sonic flossed not only once, because there was a leaked video of Sonic flossing. Yeah. Not only once did he floss. He flossed twice.
Twice.
At two separate points. And then we brought up like obviously the big thing, the Sonic got redesigned for this movie. Originally they came out with a trailer and there was this
monstrosity.
hideous fucking design, and there was so much backlash that they changed it.
Yeah.
And we joked, but it's probably very true, and it's probably on a hard drive somewhere. They originally had that old hideous design flossing.
I really want to see that design.
I
of Sonic
honestly would
flossing.
love to see that because it would be fucking horrific. It would be terrible.
It was terrible seeing the new design do it, and the new design looks good.
The new design actually, I was really happy with the new design. Like it actually,
He looks really
yeah,
great.
compared to the old design. I don't know if they were going for a more realistic look,
I think so. I
but
think that's what they
it
were
did
going for.
not work.
And like it went through so many people, and it was I don't understand.
Yeah, the fact
I
that it
don't-
went through so many people and they stuck with that design.
Yeah, and another thing about seeing the movie in 40X or what we went to, the theater we were in, the audience was one of the best parts. Not only
We gotta talk.
that's what I'm getting to.
Okay, yeah.
Not only because of like looking around the theater and everybody moving, but at
Yeah.
the end of the movie, slight spoiler alert, I guess. Tails shows up at the end of the movie. They got to be setting up a sequel, especially with how
Oh
well
yeah,
it's doing.
definitely. And how they left Dr. Eggman.
Yeah, on that planet
Like,
or whatever.
there's definitely gonna be a sequel.
Yeah, and Tails shows up at the end of the movie, and as soon as Tails showed up in the movie, we looked down and there was this kid, maybe like 9 or so, and he was just dabbing so furiously, like really
Yeah.
fast. He saw Tails, he started dabbing
And
like
I
crazy.
heard him. He was like, "Tails!" And then I looked down to where that scream came from, and it was just furious, like just dabbing, like
nonstop.
nonstop.
It was so funny.
And it was the funniest shit. I thought you were gonna bring this up, but I'll bring it up. So there's a joke. There's a point in the movie where there's a there's
I forgot about
a
that.
fart joke, right? Sonic farts, right? It's this long dialogue thing, and then Sonic ends it with him farting or something. I shit you not. I fucking shit you not. When Sonic farted, there was a kid in the lower section of the theater literally went like this. I'm backing the mic up. Literally went like this. Literally clapping at a fart joke.
And I don't know, because there was more than one fart joke in the movie.
Yeah, there was more than
I don't know if it was that one or another one, but there was like a majority of the theater laughed.
Yeah.
And I leaned into Trey and I said thunderous applause.
Standing ovation.
Oh no, I said standing ovation because that fart joke got a standing ovation practically in that theater.
I swear to God, when that one kid was literally, I'm gonna do it again because I love doing it. Like it was like Sonic farted and that kid was like, that was the funniest part. Like it was so funny. Oh my God.
God. So, but yeah, that whole experience was really great.
That was such a great. That was one of the best theater experiences ever.
Yeah, and
Not even because of the movie.
it was.
itself.
It wasn't like because of the movie, and the movie was okay, but just seeing the movie in 40X was really a special experience. And the movie on itself, let's say out of 10 stars, I would give it honestly like a 5.
I think
Maybe even a 6.
Yeah,
Maybe even a
I gave
6.
it a 4. I think I have a Letterboxd account, which is a site or app where you rate movies or whatever. I think I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Mhm.
But the experience
was
was a 12 out of 10.
Yeah, it was like a 12 out of 10.
Like literally that was
the experience
so...
of going with a couple of my friends sitting in 40X was
Yeah.
really, really great. If you have some friends and you just want to have a good time, go see Sonic the Hedgehog in 40X. It's really something.
And my actual thoughts on the movie, it was way better than I expected.
yeah,
definitely. The best part, honestly, was Jim Carrey. Like, because it felt like he channeled that 90s Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
and he
which
was
I guess we hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah, and he was just like, he was himself. And it was like, and I know you recently, you said that a lot of people didn't like that because he didn't act like Dr. Eggman. But
yeah, like, for instance, I watched Chad Tronick, if any of you know who he is. He made like a Sonic the Hedgehog movie review, and he got like a Build-A-Bear Sonic to like review or unbox or whatever. And I was watching his video, and he said he didn't like Jim Carrey as Eggman because to him, he's played a bunch of the Sonic games, and he said to him that it didn't really feel like Eggman. It just felt like Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Which I can totally.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
But if someone hasn't really played like the Sonic games, they'll they'll
It's
like you
fun.
like they'll enjoy.
Yeah,
Jim Carrey.
I haven't. I've never played a Sonic game actually.
Maybe we should do that sometime. That'd
We
be...
should. We should. Um, I kind of knew from just the trailers that he wasn't going to act like Eggman. Like from the trailers, I was like, okay,
He's being Jim Carrey.
it's Jim Carrey.
He's being Jim Carrey.
But he was the funniest part of the movie to me.
Yeah, yeah. And there was there was one part where he was like trying to threaten this guy, I guess. And then what was the lead up joke? I don't
Okay,
remember.
he was so Eggman was talking to the main guy. I forgot what the actor's name was, or the character. But he was talking to the lead guy, trying to intimidate him, and he said this thing like, I was making I was making all these chemical formulas while you were still drinking your formula as a baby or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the main character was like, I was breastfed actually. And then Jim Carrey's response was, nice. Like that was literally in the movie. Like that was so funny.
And that was so funny because I think part of it is because let's say something I've been doing more and more recently is if I see 69, whoever I'm with, I'll just look at someone and say nice.
Dude,
And
I did that today.
I did that today
I did that
too.
today. That's like an unconscious thing that I do now.
I know. I don't
Like even in my head, like if I'm by myself and I see the number 69 in my head, I'll be like,
nice.
But yeah, the movie itself was fine. The experience though made it worth it, like completely.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Yeah, over 10 out of 10. It was really great experience.
Yeah.
And we went to a mall afterwards, and they had Dippin' Dots there. And Dippin' Dots is one of my favorite things in this world. But they're very rare. They're very hard to come by.
Mhm.
And so when I find a real Dippin' Dots, I get a large.
Yeah.
I get a large, and I might go back for seconds even.
For anyone who doesn't know what Dipping Dots is, which I think that's a universal thing, right? Or a
Mhm.
U.S. thing. That's
Yeah,
not just
it's
a local thing.
yeah.
Or South
Because
Carolina.
it is a U.S. thing, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that I have to say that because there's a lot of stuff in South Carolina that not everyone would understand.
Yeah.
So I
know.
just I kind of have to
like
say
like
that.
sweet tea, for instance.
Like apparently, like the West Coast, no idea what sweet tea is apparently.
And I mentioned it earlier. Whenever I went to Vegas for that
Mhm.
trip, which on almost as far west as you can get, you're only one state over from California. When we went to every restaurant, there was only 2 places out of everywhere we went had sweet tea. It was Bahama Breeze had sweet tea, and Denny's had to make sweet tea specifically for me. Because I asked, like, do you have sweet tea? And she was like, no, but I can make it in the coffee maker if you want.
In the coffee, that's crazy.
Yeah, so and they had to make sweet tea for me at Denny's.
I bet they were like, this fucking southerner dude.
I know, yeah, and my dad and I went to Hard Rock Cafe there on the strip, and we had this waitress, and I don't even remember how the conversation exactly went, but we were like, we gotta ask you this question because we asked this everywhere we've been. Do you have sweet tea? And she was like, wrong coast,
Yeah.
wrong side of the
Yeah.
country. And then my dad and her got in like a argument, not like a real argument, but it was like and she was like, well, nobody here likes sweet tea, and my dad was like, well, maybe if y'all tried it, maybe if it was on the menu, people would try it, they might like it. Nobody out here tries it.
Your dad was genuinely getting defensive over
Yeah.
them not liking sweet tea.
God, when I got back to South Carolina, I had sweet tea. That was pretty nice, dude. I gotta admit.
But yeah, dipping dots. If you don't know what dipping dots are, it's like ice cream, but it's like, I don't want to say congealed. I don't know the right word. They're congealed into little small.
They're like pellet size.
Yeah.
Like like airsoft pellets. They're the same size as that, but they're ice cream.
But it's ice cream, and it's honestly like, I love Dippin' Dots too. I'm not a big sweets person, but I love Dippin' Dots.
Oh yeah, I know you already know this, but the Exxon here has Dippin' Dots again.
Yeah.
In our little ass town, it's like
local gas station.
Yeah, and they're in like the bags.
Yeah.
But they're Dippin' Dots. So. Oh, another thing with the Sonic movie, there were a few very obvious and awkward ads for Olive Garden. I do have a point why I'm bringing this back. I think you know where I'm going.
There was it was very obvious that Olive Garden sponsored the movie, I guess, or helped fund the movie.
Tell them about the first scene with.
So, I don't even remember how it went, He was the main guy was talking about the apps on his phone. He's like, I don't have a lot of apps, but I do have the Olive Garden app. And he
Yeah.
was talking on the phone with his girlfriend or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, Olive Garden, because when you're there," and then it cut back to him. He was like, we're family," and it was
Oh my
so
god.
bad. It was like the most obvious case of product placement I've ever seen.
And then not only that, but at the end of the
It
movie,
comes back at the end.
Olive Garden comes back for a second strike,
And
baby.
they've Sonic and the main character, they've saved the world or whatever from
Mm.
Dr. Eggman or whatever. And this army general is like, I want to reward you for saving the world. And he rewards this dude with a fucking $25 gift card to Olive Garden. And he hands him the gift card. And he's like, the general of this army, right? He's like, dude, have you tried their breadsticks? They're never-ending breadsticks, dude. They're so great. It was the funniest shit because of how bad it was, but it was so bad.
It was terrible.
It was
And
so bad.
in the theater especially when that second ad came back, you looked over at me, and I had my face in my hands, and I was so furious.
And there's a reason for that.
The reason is I hate Olive Garden.
There it is. He said it. He said it.
I said
He
it.
said it.
I don't know if this is if I'm the only person with this opinion or if a lot of other people have this opinion. I really don't know.
I've heard other people who said they don't really necessarily like Olive Garden.
See, I hate Olive Garden, and I guess I probably won't do a good job of explaining why, and most people probably won't get, because they won't get what I'm feeling, I guess. Because it's just, I haven't been to Olive Garden and it's been over a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been almost 2 years, I think, since I've been to Olive Garden. And about 2 years ago, I had been to Olive Garden every now and then, but it had been every time I went there was always something just that was shit, or something went wrong, or whatever. Like, there was one time, I don't remember what it was. It might have been like shrimp. I think it was something shrimp. I tried to order something shrimp, and they were like, "Oh, we're out of shrimp." Which I understand, restaurants run out of shit, but it was the time before that they were out of something else so it's both 2 times in a row I went. They were out of something.
Yeah.
For one thing, and then there was another time where I went there and I was with one of my friends, and we were thinking about getting dessert, and they had this set of like 3 cannolis, and there was like, a cannoli is like the cream or whatever is vanilla, but there were these 2 others with it where one was a chocolate cream and one was strawberry cream. Those just look gross to me. I did not want to try them. But I was talking with her, and he's like, okay, we can try. Let's see if we can let's just get 3 vanilla ones, and let's do that. She was like, okay. And I asked the waitress, I was like, can we get these cannolis but with all like just vanilla? And she was like, no, you have to get it the way it is on the menu because it's frozen, and that's the way it comes.
Oh, so it's not like they don't make it.
She told me it was frozen. And
Oh,
that's how it comes, and you have to order it like the way it is on the menu.
that's kind of shitty.
It is shitty, and but yeah, and and that was like, I think that was, well, no, I went to that was the time where I said I'm never going to Olive Garden again. Then like a few months later, I went back because a friend invited some of us to go to like a birthday thing, and they wanted to go to Olive Garden. This is birthdays. I'm not gonna say shit, of course. But honestly, after I had Olive Garden, I felt kind of like not good. I don't know if it's just because I hate Olive Garden, I trained my body just to not like Olive Garden, but I felt kind of sick after I ate there. And I wasn't that hungry. All I had were mozzarella sticks when I went there.
Yeah.
And they were fine, they were fine, but I felt kind of sick afterwards. I don't know. I just had so many bad experiences at Olive Garden. And another thing, I love Italian pizza. And there's not like a ton of places that I can find that have Italian pizza, and Olive Garden was one of them, but they got rid of it. And I think they have the kids pizza still, but they got rid of like their full size pizza like years ago. They got rid of that.
See, I didn't even know they had pizza at one point.
That's how long it's been. They used to have like a full size pizza you could get. That was the first straw. Like
that was the first of many straws.
First of many straws, and that was like years and years ago.
Yeah.
But even then, I was really upset about that. They didn't have that anymore.
Yeah, me personally, I've been to Olive Garden a few times, and I only get one thing, and it's the chicken Alfredo.
Yeah.
I absolutely love like fettuccine alfredo with like chicken fettuccine alfredo, dude.
Mm.
It's a fucking bomb.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
I
my
know.
second favorite food. I don't even know what my first favorite food is. It's like one of my favorite. Okay, I take that back. It's one of my favorite foods, but it does upset my stomach every time I eat it. But it's like one of my favorite foods.
Yeah, and what's hold on.
That's the only thing I get when I go to Olive Garden, and it's kind of hard to mess that up. Like
Yeah, I guess
you can
so, yeah.
undercook it, but like come on, like it's really hard to mess that up.
Yeah.
So every time I went to Olive Garden, I would always get that, and it was always fine. It was always good. You know?
Yeah, and a point they made in the movie is everybody always talks about the breadsticks. The breadsticks this,
Their
the
breadsticks
breadsticks
aren't
that.
that
They aren't
great.
that amazing because the thing
No.
is, I don't know. I did put salt. I don't want to say salt on it, but they put something like some seasoning or something
Yeah.
on the top of the breadsticks.
Mhm.
But there's barely any fucking on there.
Dude, I got
it's like it's barely anything on it. So like, what's the point?
Yeah, I got breadsticks from Olive Garden one time, and they were literally hard as a fucking rock.
And there probably wasn't many seasonings on the top either.
No,
or
but like
whatever they
it
put
was
on
hard. Like I banged it against the table, and it didn't do any. Like it dented the table. No, I'm joking. But like it was hard as a fucking rock.
Yeah.
And like their breadsticks aren't good.
They're not what, in my opinion, they're not what everybody makes them out to be.
Yeah.
But to counter Olive Garden, I love me some Carrabba's.
And I've never had Carrabba's until recently. I went to the beach with you.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier,
Like-
we went to the beach.
That same a
Yeah.
weekend ago, we went to the beach and I had Carrabba's for the first time, and I like it significantly better than
Yeah,
Olive Garden for the environment alone. Like I love the
The-
environment of
the environment is
Carrabba's.
much better. And actually, my biology teacher I had last year, he would always say, "Just if every Monday." He was such a fun teacher, but every Monday he would quickly go over what he would ask what people did over the weekend. People would raise their hand. They would tell, and he would make comments and stuff. And anytime anybody would say they went to Olive Garden that weekend, he would be like, "Oh, the McDonald's of Italian restaurants, huh?"
Yeah, now that I've been to Carrabba's, I can say that is so far. I haven't been to that many Italian restaurants, but so far that's a true statement.
Yeah, and I really don't know how many Italian restaurants there are. I know of Carrabba's and Olive Garden. I can't think of any off the top
There's
of my
probably
head
a
right-
lot more.
I'm
in
sure
other
there is.
states
I just
and
can't.
stuff.
I can't think of ones off the top of my head. But Carrabba's is one of my favorite restaurants.
Yeah, I like that Carrabba's, except for I ordered. Of course, when I went to Carrabba's, I ordered the fettuccine alfredo with grilled chicken, which was fucking amazing. Like that
Mm.
at Carrabba's was fucking amazing. But it comes with a soup, and you can choose what soup you wanted. And I think I chose the
Chicken soup.
chicken
right?
soup.
Yeah.
I guess and
Which you
and
didn't even know it came.
I didn't
with
even know
it.
it came with a soup. But they brought the soup to the table, and I smelled it before I took a bite, and I was like, this has a weird scent. It kind of it honestly smelled like throw up, like puke, like that puke smell. And I was like, that's kind of weird. But then I tasted it, and at first I was like, okay, it's not that bad. The aftertaste hit. It literally tasted like vomit. Like the soup tasted like vomit.
Yeah, and you took little sips, a few
Yeah,
few times.
like to make sure I took a few more sips, and the more sips I took, the more
And-
like
and I saw you very carefully take small sips from
yeah,
it.
because like it at first you taste it and it's fine, but then that aftertaste is like this tastes like puke, and then
Yeah.
I looked at the soup and it literally looked like somebody puked into a bowl and served it to me.
Yeah, and we were at the table, and he told me that, and I was like, let me try it.
Yeah.
And he was like, you were like, be my guest.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I needed somebody
And-
else to verify this for
And
me.
I tried it, and at first I was like, I kind of see where it's coming from, and then I swallowed it, and then the aftertaste, I was like, oh.
yeah, like it.
I was like, oh, I see exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
like that aftertaste hits and it's like,
Yeah, so,
like, it's
so word of advice to anybody listening right now, but if you're ever at Olive Garden, in our humble opinion, don't get the chicken soup. don't get the
don't
chicken
get the chicken soup.
Whatever you do,
Or,
don't get the chicken soup.
Yeah, I think you said Olive Garden.
Oh,
If you go to Carrabba's.
sorry, Carrabba's, yeah.
Don't get the chicken soup. I don't know, but the other soups might be good. I don't know if it was just that
Yeah,
one
I
soup.
don't
Maybe
know.
the chicken soup is usually better than that, but
Maybe some-
everything about Carrabba's was great except for that soup.
Yeah, and probably honestly my favorite thing at a Carrabba's is they bring out this dish, a small dish has herbs in it,
Yeah.
and there's this olive oil on the table, and you can put you're supposed to put olive oil in the plate of herbs,
Huh.
and you dip the bread in there, which the bread is amazing, by
dude,
the way.
The bread was great. I love
But-
the bread.
And I know you didn't particularly like it, but just me personally, in my taste, that oil is like heaven to me. Dipping
Yeah.
that bread in the oil and having
Yeah, I
that.
personally I didn't like it too much, but that's just me.
Yeah, my like just me personally, I love it.
Yeah.
I would never choose Olive Garden breadsticks over that bread
You know, the
and the
hard as
oil.
rock
Yeah,
fucking breadsticks at Olive Garden.
I would never choose the breadsticks over that bread and oil at Carrabba's.
Yeah.
But yeah, and actually I don't know if you know this, but last year in my English 3 class, we were supposed to write like a report
Mhm.
about basically anything you wanted to, and I made a paper about Carrabba's versus Olive Garden.
That actually would be an interesting paper, like an article or something.
Yeah,
to
and
read.
and one point actually I looked up, because I remember that comment about the lady telling me the cannolis were frozen.
Mhm.
Most of from what I looked up back then, most of Olive Garden's items on the menu are frozen, and Carrabba's makes, I think, more like almost everything
From scratch.
fresh.
Yeah, fresh. Yeah.
Yes, that's another thing.
That's
Carrabba's makes everything fresh, and a lot of Olive Garden stuff is frozen.
yeah. For me, that's instantly a major plus.
Oh yeah, because you actually worked at in a kitchen before.
I did work at a restaurant, a local restaurant called
Yeah.
Leo's, and I was a cook. I fried the wings. It was mostly a wing place, a wing and pizza place. When I started, I mostly did the wings, but before I quit, I ended up doing mostly pizzas.
Mm.
Yeah, and working in a restaurant now that I go to when I go to restaurants now that I have worked in a restaurant, I notice things and I see things and like it. I don't know, when I hear stuff like that, like most of Olive Garden stuff is frozen. That's weird. Like that's ugh. Like
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the stuff at Leo's was frozen, but it was like that was a small wing place.
Local wing place.
I would expect that out of a small local wing place, but a place like Olive Garden,
A massive franchise.
a massive food chain, like an Italian place, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I didn't know that, but now that I know that, it's like, fuck Olive Garden. No, I'm with you. You've convinced me.
See, I'm like fuck Olive Garden because I hate Olive Garden and I love Carrabba's.
You sent me a picture. You sent a lot of people a picture on Snapchat one day. This was recent, and it just said fuck Olive Garden.
Hey, well, no, what it was, I have a private story on Snapchat, and I posted on there fuck Olive. I should put it on my main story, but I posted on my private story fuck Olive Garden. And I've never gotten such, I don't want to say violent, but like such a reaction out of people than that snap.
Was it like people saying like, no, Olive Garden's good?
It was a mix of a lot. I've never gotten that many responses to anything on any of my stories ever. Almost every single person that saw it replied, and they had something to say.
That's so funny though.
And what was funny is one of our friends, George, he replied to it. And he said, "What happened?" I said, "Nothing. I just hate Olive Garden."
You didn't even go to Olive Garden. It was a thought.
No,
you were just like, fuck Olive Garden.
I woke up. I was sleeping. I woke up that morning and I was like, "Man, I hate Olive Garden."
Just a morning thought, fuck Olive Garden.
I grabbed my phone. I took a picture and I just said, "Fuck Olive Garden."
Yeah, I noticed it was like dark, like you had just.
It was from my
bed. You were just like, "Fuck Olive Garden."
Yeah.
Like, what happened? And hearing that nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Thought that was so funny. I also want to bring up. We've been recording for a while. I want to end it soon, but like, I also want to bring up. Cutter has a weird thing where he likes the taste of burnt.
That is true. I do.
That's the only way I can think of how to explain it.
I like the taste of burnt.
He likes his food burnt, which I personally don't understand. It's funny to me because like when I order a steak, I get my steaks like medium rare to rare, and Cutter will order his well done, like past well done. Like he wants it burnt. And
I love the taste of burnt. I do.
You like the taste of burnt. And I bring this up because you mentioned you sent the picture on Snapchat. He sent yeah, you know where I'm going with this. He sent a picture to a bunch of people on Snapchat of a pizza that you heated up yourself, and it was like charred. It was so burnt. Like it was a burnt pizza. Like it was not even edible in my eyes that it was so burnt. And what did you say? You said something like yum or something.
I don't know. I remember. It was something like that.
Yeah, and like it was funny because I I didn't respond to it because I did like it genuinely like frustrated me.
You
Like,
didn't reply
because
to
like
it.
that was a great piece of pizza and you fucking burnt it, and like, and I didn't reply because it genuinely frustrated me. And then I asked you about it, and you said that nobody replied to
No,
it.
everybody just opened it. Nobody replied. nobody,
so funny.
nobody replied to it.
But
I sent it to like a handful of people, and nobody replied. Everybody just
so
opened it.
fun. And then I think I mentioned it to Rosie. I was like, "Did Cutter send you that picture of that burnt pizza?" And Rosie was like, like
Did she
that,
really?
she like really, she was like, "Yes, he did."
I didn't know that. That's
And
great.
that was so funny. Like, just her face was like, yes. Like, it was so funny.
And well, and that's something else. Like yesterday, my mom actually cooked dinner for my family, and she made these like potato things, and and she just had them like on like the pan in the kitchen, so we could go back and get more, and most of them were gone. There was only a few left, and how like sometimes when you cook stuff like potatoes, for instance,
Yeah.
there'll be like the kind of like burnt pieces just kind of stuck to the pan. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I got those. I took those and I ate them, and I loved it. I like scraped them off of the pan.
I
ate
don't
them.
understand, dude.
I loved it. I love it. I love that shit.
I'm coming from a place of concern, because like what happened to your taste buds to like you it's not even like you I don't understand. It's not even like that you like your stuff crispy. It's like you like the taste of burnt.
Well, I do.
Like that burnt taste.
Well, I will say if my food is if it's like crispy and not burnt, perfectly fine. I'm either way.
Well, yeah, but like
I
you
love
would prefer
crispy.
the taste of burnt.
Crispy and burnt would be
That I don't know. That's just I'm concerned.
And maybe burnt sounds a little extreme, but most of the time it's just like overdone.
Yeah, like yes,
Overdone.
Yes, but like.
But I will say
no. That pizza you sent me was fucking burnt, Cutter. I'm sorry.
Well,
but
I will say actually I cooked that pizza a little longer than normal, and I had a reason for that. The reason was because honestly, I got it from Simple Eats downtown. There's a new restaurant downtown called Simple Eats. But I got it from there because they had like a deal where you get 2 large pizzas for $15, which is not bad at all. So I got that so I could have food for like the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And honestly, like after having it in the fridge for a couple days, the pizza was not that great.
Mm-hmm.
It really like wasn't that great. And I don't remember exactly how, but I know that I burnt it more than I normally would just so I could. I think because it was like very like limp. It wasn't, the pizza was very limp, I guess.
If I had a nickel for every time I've heard that.
Dude, your pizza slice is limp,
dude,
man.
your pizza slice is so limp. It's barely edible.
Yeah, but
dude.
it was like it just wasn't that good, and the only way I could get it to be better is to overcook.
To be not limp.
The only way I could get it to taste better is to burn it. So that pizza specifically, I did cook a little longer than normal on purpose. And that's why it was like that's why it looked really burnt. That's why I thought that would be funny to send to people.
You're just trying to justify your craving for burnt.
I don't know, maybe I am.
Your craving for burnt.
Does anybody else out there like the taste of burnt like I do?
Yeah. If you're listening and you have the same weird ass taste buds,
and you like to like overcook.
You
things.
like overcook most of your food. You like that burnt taste. I don't know how to. That's the only way I can know how to describe it. Is that burnt taste like that? Is that like that charcoal taste maybe?
Like a burnt sound.
Like
Burnt. It's
like
a burnt taste.
Like a burnt taste. If you like that burnt taste, first off, what the fuck is wrong with you? Second off, I'm just joking. Leave a comment, please.
Yeah, if anybody else has the same.
Because I'm pretty sure you feel very alone with that. Like you're the only one who likes.
Yeah, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah, of course, but like.
Yeah. And one thing that I was thinking about this the other day. Our friend Lainey, and this I don't get all. When I have like fries from somewhere, I fucking hate floppy fries. And honestly, I hate floppy fries. But Lainey,
I don't understand that. I don't understand floppy fries.
Lainey loves floppy fries. She doesn't like the crispy ones. So it really works out if one of us gets fries, because normally, sometimes when you're eating fries, you just pick out the ones you don't want to eat.
Yeah.
I pick out the floppy ones and she'll eat those, but if she has fries, she'll pick out the crispy ones and I'll eat those, which are so
Yeah.
both of them. So what we don't like is the other's favorite. So it works out beautifully if we both
Yeah.
have fries. It works out really beautifully, and
Yeah.
usually all of them end up getting eaten.
Mhm.
So that is so, Laney, if you ever want to eat some fries, it works out really well
Yeah.
for us.
Shout
too,
out
so.
to Lane, our
Yeah.
good friend Lane. Yeah, we had this thing at Leo's where it was called raw fries, and it was
Yeah.
basically a potato chip, like potato chips.
Yeah.
But we would manually cut the potatoes,
Mm.
or we would have this machine where we put potatoes in, and it would cut the potatoes into basically potato chips, and
They're very thin, of course.
very thin, and we'd call them raw fries, and you could order them either floppy, medium, or crispy. Medium was basically like a regular potato chip, and crispy was like,
I don't understand how you would get them any other way than crispy.
well, medium is like a potato chip.
Mm.
So like it's just potato chips.
Yeah.
I usually like a medium, like medium to crispy,
See,
in between medium and
To
crispy.
me, if they're like medium, there's nothing special about them. That's the thing.
Okay, yeah, I understand that, but like floppy,
I don't
like
I don't
this
get
is
that.
literally like after we cut them, it's a floppy raw potato. We literally when we make floppy raw fries, or when I made floppy raw fries, you literally threw it in the fryer for 30 seconds, just to heat them up,
That's
basically. Just to
insanity.
they are basically eating raw potatoes. Just heat it up.
I don't understand it.
And I
it-
tried it one time because I was like, okay, because a lot of people got floppy raw fries, and I was like, okay, I don't understand that. I haven't tried it, and I was like, okay, well, let me try it. It might be good. Worst fucking thing I've ever had. it was gross. It was slimy. It was like I don't understand.
Yeah,
that.
and if you like floppy fries like that, you good. More power to you. And I have.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm happy.
more power to you, bro.
And I'm happy you can enjoy something that I can't.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
I mean, that's how I look at it.
It'd be kind of boring if everybody liked the same things.
That's
you know?
true.
Um,
But like I don't know. It's just every time somebody ordered floppy raw fries, which is a lot.
Mm,
Every time I was like I hated making them.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just
Oh, and I do feel like we've been talking about food a lot in this podcast.
we have been talking.
I just realized that
Sonic, Matthew, and food.
there is, but there's just so much to talk about with food. You can go on. You can
Yeah,
go on for
there's-
hours. So
Yeah.
maybe next time we should like cut back on the food talk.
Every episode of this podcast is just food. Just food
It's a
based.
food cast.
Yeah.
But there's one more.
Yo, welcome to the food
food
cast.
cast.
The food cast.
One more thing I do want to mention because this was I feel like we need to mention this. I know you are not a big donut guy.
Not really. No.
But my dad and I, we love donuts. Specifically, we love Krispy Kreme donuts. And
Mm.
I know that is generally a Southern thing, but it's more throughout the country now. But it used to be mostly a Southern thing.
Yeah.
Um,
And
it-
I like Krispy Kreme. I like he said, I'm not a donut person, but if I do want a donut, I'd go to Krispy Kreme.
yeah, Krispy Kreme is phenomenal. I think they're amazing. And my dad and
They've
I,
actually responded to you on Instagram.
they have. There was, oh my God, this was probably after this moment, my life was complete. I thought
this was honestly really cool.
this was like over 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
But I follow Krispy Kreme on Instagram, and on one of their posts, I commented, "I love you, Krispy Kreme," and they replied to me and said, "We love you too."
Didn't they say your name? We love you too, Cutter.
Yeah, they said my name. They said, "We love you too, Cutter," and that was my life was complete.
That's
after that
honestly
moment.
pretty fucking cool.
That was really cool because Krispy
Yeah.
Kreme is one of my favorite things ever, and the official account added me and told me that they love me.
That's pretty great.
That was pretty phenomenal.
That's pretty great.
But yeah, anyway, my I don't even remember the last time I had Dunkin' Donuts, and my
Mhm.
dad hasn't had Dunkin' Donuts in like
I've
30 years.
I've actually never had Dunkin' Donuts until
Yeah,
this.
yeah. What we're
Yeah.
getting to.
Yeah.
Basically, my dad. Long story short, he was able to get some Dunkin' Donuts for free. Like if they were telling him if he bought, because I think he had a gift card he's needed to use,
Yeah.
and the employees were telling him they had to throw out donuts, but if he bought 6, they would give him a dozen for free.
Mhm.
My dad was like, yeah, I'll do that. So he brought home. This is when we were at the beach, by the way.
Yeah.
He brought back a dozen. I guess I never saw the other 6. I don't, but he brought back a dozen of Dunkin' Donuts, and we all tried them. All 3 of us
Mhm.
tried them,
And when I go to Krispy Kreme, I usually get just the original, just glazed.
those are my favorite. I will
Yeah,
say.
and
Those are
so
my
I
favorite.
tried that one from in the box in the Dunkin' Donuts box, and It was fine.
It was fine. And it had powder on it, right?
Yeah, that was the best part.
Yeah, it had powder on it. But then
Plus, I could tell they've been sitting out for a while, and I
Yeah.
feel like if it would have been a little,
would have been a little
it
better.
would have been a little better if it was fresh. But it was fine. It wasn't it wasn't terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
I would prefer Krispy Kreme, but
But then I made you try the chocolate with sprinkles, which had no powder on it. And Dunkin' Donuts are apparently not glazed, at least
Yeah.
most of them.
Yeah.
And it didn't taste near as good as the
yeah.
other one, which was fine to begin
and
with.
I think Dunkin' Donuts. I don't like coffee either. I
Yeah.
really don't like coffee. I feel like Dunkin'
I don't
Donuts
either.
would be better with coffee than Krispy Kreme.
I'm sure they are, because I know that everybody says their coffee is great, but I don't like
Yeah,
coffee.
because Krispy Kreme is mainly a donut place, and Dunkin' Donuts is like a donut coffee place.
Yeah, but the thing I don't get is it's called Dunkin' Donuts,
That
and
is
their
the thing,
donuts
though. That
are
is the thing.
terrible.
Yeah.
I think, and we.
Well,
they-
no. Well,
I'm getting to it.
yeah, okay. Well,
There were
what we had tried so far was
It
it was fine.
It was okay at best. At best, it was okay.
Yeah.
But there was a cruller. We
Oh,
tried
man.
this cruller, and it was fucking atrocious.
It was the worst
It was
thing.
it was the most god awful donut I've ever had in my
Yeah.
entire life, and that's not an
Like, I think
exaggeration.
you tried it and your dad tried it, and y'all both said it was terrible. And then I was like, it can't be that bad.
And then you tried it.
I tried it. At first I was like, there's really no taste to it, and then like I swallowed it. And I was like, oh, like
it was disgusting.
It was honestly disgusting.
That the cruller was absolutely terrible, and just for the fact that the name of the company is, or the brand at least, is Dunkin' Donuts, and their donuts are okay to terrible.
Okay to terrible.
God, like, it's insanity. I don't understand.
I
know,
do.
well,
I
guess
would like to try Dunkin' Donuts again when they're fresh, because like I
Yeah.
said, the donuts we tried were sitting out for a little bit, but I don't think it would make that much of a difference.
I
honestly.
don't think so.
Maybe it would. I don't know, but
Yeah, and I mean,
but again, I'm not a donut guy, so I'm not going to be getting it anytime soon.
yeah,
So.
and we actually had my dad had got like this some Krispy Kreme donuts, so we had those. Or I had some after we tried the Dunkin' Donuts, and the difference between Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme is just night and day, completely different, night and
Completely
day.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to get. I thought that was a good topic, so I just wanted to
Yeah.
go on that little tangent. I
And that was
guess.
I think that's a good place to stop,
And it's a good wrap.
because we've been recording for like an hour and a half.
Yeah. What did we talk about? We talked about Matthew, Sonic,
Matthew,
food.
Sonic, and food.
food. Yeah.
If you've made it this far, thank you for listening.
Yeah. If anybody watching made it this far, I have some life questions for you.
You're
But
a real OG.
you're a real OG. I
Um,
have to say.
Yeah. Thank you if you've made it this far.
Yeah,
we've really been enjoying doing podcasts.
Yeah, and we want to keep doing this
Yeah,
and do
hopefully
more.
soon. I'm gonna get the Elgato, and we're gonna do like gameplay videos, which that'll be a lot more fun
That'll be a lot
than
of
the
fun.
podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like. But just doing the podcast is fun.
Yeah, I
So,
love it, man.
Yeah, and it's funny because when we started the podcast, all of our friends are asking about it now. Like,
Yeah, all of our friends are like asking about it.
yeah,
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah, but we only have.
Hopefully, the next podcast after this, we'll have Luke on as a guest.
Hopefully we'll have Luke
Because
as
he
a
wants to
guest.
come on, and we want him to come on. He's
So
he's
a
good friend of ours,
It's
and-
perfect.
yeah,
Maybe we can work something out this weekend. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
We'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
But hopefully next podcast we'll have our first occasional idiot, as the
Yeah.
title suggests. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for listening. Sing us out, Cutter.
Sonic the Hedgehog, Matthew, Krispy Kreme, Olive Garden. All right, let's go.
All right, that's it. All right, thank you, everybody.
All right, bye.
Dude, I've had to pee like this whole time.
Dude, my neck hurts.
I noticed you were over there like.
Yeah.
Dude, my bladder.